And a very pleasant good evening. We welcome you to Ridgecrest Talk. I'm Tom Heck, and our theme is always sports on Tuesday night. I'm with Chris Branson, a longtime friend, and his sons also, Braden and Austin. And tonight we're going to talk about the youth sports in the community. And we've picked these gentlemen because they're the most active people I know in this town. They play club baseball. They've played IWV baseball. They've played IWV football. They're both members of a travel baseball team. They play 7th grade basketball for Dad over at Monroe. So there's really nothing that they can't do. But Chris, explain to us a little bit. Let's start with the league on Saturday, which is a flag football, which you guys are also playing in, and then talk a little bit after that about IWV football, and then we'll head to the next sport, and we'll get your thoughts on football after your dad talks. Go ahead.
So we've been enjoying flag football. The season's been going about 4 weeks. Actually, the Twins are not playing flag football. Tackle football ran too long into the flag football season, so they couldn't do it. But my youngest, Corbin, he's in Division II. It's a league of about 8 teams. There's 3 different divisions. Each division has about 8 teams, so times that by 10, you're looking at several hundred kids in the valley signed up. We've been lucky this year. We've had gorgeous weather every Saturday. We've really enjoyed it. Started out 4-0, had a heartbreaking loss last week. Lost 19-18, but yeah, the spirit out there is great. The kids are having a great time. It's not too serious, and the kids really seem to enjoy flag football.
Let's start with Braden. Braden, talk about your experience with the IWV tackle football, I should say. Now, you played on the JV team, kind of a bumpy season, for you guys. I know as far as wins go, there weren't, a ton of those out there, but you guys were very active. And what's it like playing tackle football?
It was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of yelling and running. So yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite position to play?
A wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Okay, what about defense?
Cornerback.
Cornerback. And you did pretty good when you got hit with tackles?
Yeah.
All right, what about you?
My favorite position is wide receiver too, and I play safety, and that's my favorite position.
Okay, so now, were there some games that you were fairly close with this year, or was it kind of a real tough luck season every Saturday?
We really didn't have any close games.
He's honest. Don't you like that? He doesn't make up stories. No, we got blown out all season long, thank you, but I know they had fun with that. Well, Chris, let's go back to you. Right now, it's basketball season. You're the coach over at Monroe Junior High School. You're the 7th grade coach. You're the former 5th grade basketball coach that won the league up at Saracosa. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But talk about what's going on at Monroe Junior High basketball and how popular it is in all the schools that participate.
Yeah, so we had a very active tryout session that we just completed 2 weeks ago. Had about 35 kids show up. We ended up taking 13 kids. 6 of those kids were they played a high amount of basketball as 6th graders last year. With that said, with that many 6th graders returning, we're very excited about, how talented this team made the cutting process very tough with that many returners and so many great kids at Monroe. I actually told the guys that if they lived in a different part of the district, they'd have such a better chance of making the team. But so we did the cuts, and now we're, 4 weeks out from our first tournament up at Saracosa. Looking very forward to that. Right now, we have signed up for our league teams like South Fork out of Isabella, Desert from Edwards Air Force Base, Murray, of course, Emmanuel, the Ridgecrest Charter School, St. Anne's. We hope to play Bishop as well as...
And perhaps Wallace.
Wallace, yep, and that's the other one. I think that's
just... And Jacobson from Tehachapi.
Oh, and Tehachapi, yep.
Right, see, quite a few schools out there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's talk to you first. Braden, you go first.
Yeah.
We'll talk about basketball. I know do you have a favorite sport at all?
Yeah, my favorite sport's basketball, and I've been playing it all my life.
You know what? He has played a long time. I can verify that. Both of these bookends here have come to my basketball camp probably since they were about this big, and they've enjoyed the summers at Saracoso. Chris, father here, has done a good job giving us time to officiate during the high school and junior high tournaments that we have. But let's talk about your team this year. What kind of expectations do you have, and what are your strengths on the team?
Well, we got everything. I think we're going to win most of our games, probably all of them.
Probably all of them. Well, what do you think about that, brother?
I think our strengths are cutting to the basket and just running a lot. Just
running a lot.
Getting to the ball and moving without the ball.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about defense? You guys spend a lot of time working on defense.
Well, we've only had one practice right now. Our first practice was today, and we worked on our offense mostly.
I figured so with your dad. Your dad's likes to try to score a lot, but I know you'll hopefully be working on some defense pretty soon, right, Dad, to stop some people. How do you like playing in Monroe Gym? Kind of old, isn't it?
It's small.
It's small. Does that present a problem?
For spacing, to get space, it's kind of hard.
Okay. What about some of the teams you play? Have you seen Murray or anybody else play yet?
Not really, no.
Okay. Do you know any of the kids that are on those teams at all?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay, so you've got a little bit of a rivalry going then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys, actually, you traveled to, let's go back to Dad. You go to Bakersfield, don't you, to play?
Yep, we got actually 2 tournaments scheduled this year in Bakersfield, so that'll be a real test of our athletic ability, how good we are.
Now, what kind of problems does a really small, compact gym present for you?
So the court is not only small, which makes the spacing tough for our offense and defense, you know, all the transition stuff, but what also makes it tough is when you have such a small gym, you have bleachers that you got to fit parents and fans in, and so now we're dealing with metal benches 6 inches off the live court with possible heads going into that, and then also the court surface is pretty slippery. So I wish we could crack the code how to use this beautiful gym up at Saracoso, but we haven't been able to crack the code on how to use that unutilized gym.
Well, so have I. I have not cracked it either sometimes. But we'll be back, and after this timeout, we'll have more from the Bransons. Don't go away. This is Ridgecrest Talk right here on KZGN. All right, not too bad, guys. And welcome back. This is Ridgecrest Talk. Our theme on Tuesday night is sports. Tonight we've got Chris Branson and his sons Braden and Austin, and we're talking about some of the youth sports that they participate in. And the other theme is tonight there's a lot of opportunity for the youth in our community to participate in really what is a smorgasbord of youth sports in the Valley. I think we do a good job. Our recreation department does a very good job. Schools do a pretty good job of, you know, getting participation out there, getting the word out. So there's really a chance for all type of kids to, you know, whether they just want to play one sport or whether they like to play 3 sports, there's that opportunity there. And I think sports is a great lesson in itself. And one of those reasons, I believe, is that you have to go to class to be eligible, because if you don't get to play. Speaking of, we'll start with Braden. How are your grades?
I got straight A's right now.
Well, that was easy. Straight A's? Huh, well, I guess it's true that your mom and dad do pay you for every A, is that correct? And you're just a few A's away from that new pony, right? Braden, what about you?
I'm Austin.
I'm Austin, I'm sorry, I just picked on Braden here.
I have straight A's too. And
straight A's too?
yes.
I mean, we don't believe in B's or anything? Wow, that is tremendous. So what do you guys, what are your favorite subjects, Braden?
PE and math.
PE and math, okay. Well, 1 out of 2 is not bad. That'll support you. And Austin? What?
And math and PE, the same as Braden.
You guys eat the same food too? The same haircut? I hope you date different girls. I mean, my goodness. All right, Chris, what kind of expectations are there when you're coaching a junior high team for eligibility? What is kind of the landmark that they have to abide by to play?
So I can speak for Monroe. We have a 2.0 eligibility grade point average. Then we also have these, they got N's and S's and O's on their report card. N is needs improvement. If they have 2 N's in 2 classes, or an N in 2 classes, they'll be ineligible. And then if they get this thing called a U, which is for an unsatisfactory, that also disqualifies them. They'll be suspended until they bring that up.
Wow. So that's actually, and again, I think athletics is a great lifelong lesson. I think it teaches self-discipline, which I believe is something that sure can hurt the youth of today, and is something sometimes I think we miss out on for whatever reason. And I think sports is one way that can get a lot of that back sometimes. And I know that a lot of the coaches like yourself, you do a lot of work out there, and it's mainly volunteer work. So I know you guys are pretty dedicated to what you do. It's kind of have to love what you do. Hey, let's switch gears, talk about baseball a little bit, because you guys, I know, are pretty good baseball players. Talk about, I know you played in the All-Star team last year, and how far did you get to go? Start with you, Austin.
We got to the district, and it was pretty tough. We lost 6 out of our 9 games by 1 point.
6 of 9 by 1 point?
Yeah.
Wow, that's worse. That's worse than the Dodgers have done. Oh man, what about you, Braden? What are your memories about everything?
About the same. It's just tough battles and going through the tough losses.
Okay. So now, what is the hardest thing to do in baseball? Is it to field the ball, to throw the ball, or is it to hit the ball? Let's start with you.
To hit the ball.
To hit the ball. So what kind of pitch gives you trouble?
Anything that's not a fastball.
Anything that's not a fastball. Well, he's honest. Not only is he honest there, but I can verify at the community college level about the same story. A lot of guys can't hit anything other than what comes at them fast and straight. Austin.
We don't see nothing much other than the curveball and changeup.
At your age.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Curveball and changeup. That's what they're throwing at these
and
guys.
And a fastball.
And a fastball. Hopefully a fastball.
Yeah,
all right.
sure.
No man does not live on changeups and curveballs alone at your age. I hope not. Now, Chris, you were a big baseball guy. That's probably your main sport, correct? Now you played at Burroughs back in the day. Talk about that.
So I did, baseball was my first love, played it growing up, enjoyed it very much here in the Valley, had opportunity to play on many all-star teams and make it to usually the next tournament. Starting in high school, I actually had an opportunity to play the all-star, not the playoff game as a freshman at shortstop. That was one of my most memorable moments as a varsity athlete. So then the next 3 years, played baseball, decided to play football my freshman and senior year. Both times I broke a bone the 4th game of my football season.
Wow.
Which both times took me out of basketball, but was able to play baseball all 4 years and really enjoyed playing baseball.
Now, what coach did you play under at Burroughs for baseball?
When I was younger, the coach, so my freshman, sophomore year, was Coach Lariba, and I think he's since transferred to Arizona. I haven't been able to catch up with him and see what he's up to. Coach McJunkin also coached us later on, and I think he's in Bakersfield now.
Mm-hmm. Now, your youngest son plays club baseball. I know you travel over to Bakersfield. Now, talk about this, parents, for a busy weekend. On Saturday during the fall, he has to tackle football with these guys on Saturday, and we're going to talk about the travel that they have to do. And then on Sunday, you get to go every Sunday to Bakersfield to a travel league you're in with Corbin. How does that travel league work, and what kind of competition is it?
Yeah, so we did the fall and spring leagues in Bakersfield, and they have a very good turnout. Baseball seems to be very big over there. So for the past 3 seasons, we've gone over there in the fall and spring. This past fall season, we ended up undefeated, actually. The competition wasn't as good as it was in the spring, but I think our kids playing together started really gelling, and even though the competition wasn't there, we still didn't lose a game, which I think is saying a lot about that team and how good they are. We've actually taken a break from it, believe it or not, but we went 8-0, and I thought it was a great league in the sense that it was every other Sunday, so it wasn't taking us out of town every weekend. Usually football would. So every other weekend we'd be in 2 cities over the weekend, but it's not a bad drive, an hour and a half, and get to do some shopping at Trader Joe's. So the wife likes that.
All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about the senior team, the IWV. They're going to be in the Super Bowl this Saturday. I know you guys are familiar with them. We'll have more with some of the youth sports when we come back. You're watching Ridgecrest Talk right here on KZGN. And we are back, and thanks for watching tonight. Our theme, as always, on Tuesday night is sports, and tonight we have the Bransons, and they've been talking about some of the sports they participate in and some of the opportunities that there are for all the youth in our community to participate in, both in the recreation department and with the different schools. Well, you guys 2 years ago were teammates on the championship 5th grade basketball team, I believe Las Flores, if memory serves me right, and talk about that experience. You won the whole thing, and you were honored last year up at Saracoso during their Hall of Fame dinner.
It was a whole bunch of fun. The Hall of Fame dinner was pretty new and exciting for me.
Okay, and?
Yeah, for basketball, we had one team that actually hanged on to us. It was Gateway, and I have a bunch of friends that were playing on that team. It was a lot of fun.
But you won the whole thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys only lost 1 game the whole time, right? Or no
We didn't
games?
lose.
Undefeated?
Yeah.
Wow. So now, I know your little brother's starting to play basketball. Is he at the point yet where he's basically blowing by you on the court, or are you still holding him down some?
He's not blowing by me, but he's getting good.
He's not blowing by me, but he's blowing by my brother there. Well, Chris, let's talk about, before I forget, because I know I will and I don't want to, because I want to acknowledge the senior IWV football team. Now, these guys played on the JV team, but the next level up is a senior team. And the senior team this weekend, for back-to-back years now, is playing in the championship game called the Super Bowl. Last year's team went undefeated from Ridgecrest. They won it. Last year's team is mainly the freshmen at the high school now, and this team is mainly 8th graders. They do have some 7th graders, but they have only lost 1 time, and they have a rematch in that game against Eastside. Now, I know you guys are very familiar with them. You watch them play. What are their chances to beat Eastside this Saturday?
I think they have a huge chance against Eastside because I think they just had a little breakdown against them. They lost 22-14.
Okay, and that was early in the season, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think are some of the strengths on that big senior team?
Running the football, definitely, because they got Evan Hernandez, which is phenomenal.
Okay, and what about defense?
They got that too.
They got that too. They got the whole package, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys miss the most about football season already?
Going out of town and just hanging out with friends.
Now, Chris, where do you have to go every Saturday during the season if you're not at home for IWV football? What are some of the cities that you have to go play in for the football?
We played in Hesperia, Victorville,
Barstow.
Adelanto, Barstow, Oak Hills, which is basically all high, the high desert down to 15. It's usually where we're at.
A lot of travel required. Now, the tough thing about this year the teams that made the playoffs, they were not able to host a home game because of the fact that the field where you now play at over at Leroy Jackson doesn't have any bleachers. I understood that to be, which was kind of a tough break to have to deal with, but I could understand at the same time. So that put everybody on the road for the first round and the second round. But this game Saturday, for those that are interested, is over at Little Rock, and they will play east side from Lancaster over in Little Rock, and that again is the senior team from Ridgecrest, the IWV team, a team that you guys will play on next year, more than likely. And so now that you've played all three sports, if you could pick just one, I know you kind of mentioned basketball, but if you think about it, which one would you like to maybe play in college?
Basketball.
Basketball. Okay. Now the other question is, are you guys going to grow? Yeah.
I hope so. We could only wish.
Only wish. Quick little point guards, huh? Guys moving around really spunky-like. Chris, you happen to be and we just found this out the other day, you just happen to be a classmate, a graduating classmate of the so far legend here at KZGN, and that's our famous anchorman, Reed. Talk about Reed, and I don't know if he'll remember you or not. What do you remember about him in high school?
Yeah, so me and Reed actually had lots of good times in high school, hung out quite a bit, usually after hours doing things we probably shouldn't have been doing. We actually have some very good stories. One memorable story that, of course, I couldn't tell here, but it's a pretty good one that only me and Reed Blake will know for the rest of our lives.
All right, I guess that probably says it all about our future Hall of Famer there, NBC correspondent Reed. But well, hey, in our last minute and a half, let's talk about the upcoming basketball season now. And I know you're getting excited about that. So how much time are you going to dedicate to yourself when you're not in practice? In other words, do you spend a lot of time shooting baskets at home, and on the weekend when you have time, do you get out and run or do anything, or is it just you go to the gym and play? What's your dedication?
Sometimes we go to the gym, but also we go to Leroy Jackson Park. And while my little brother's playing flag football, we go over to the park and do drills and work on the offense.
Okay. And Braden?
Yeah, we shoot hoops, and we have a basketball hoop right outside in the front yard, and we just play basketball.
Now I wonder, they don't have to wash dishes at home, do they? They don't have chores because of their playing three sports, right?
It's funny, but the wife does use that excuse. Oh, they're so busy in sports and school. Dad's always wanting to whoop them into, doing all the chores, but Mom makes me give them a break because they're so active in sports.
Okay. Our last minute or so, Chris, and a serious note, talk about some of the great things that, the Valley has to offer as far as the youth and opportunities for those that might be out there that have kids that might be interested.
Yeah, so sports, I absolutely love and would encourage anybody to get their kids in any of the sports. There's so many, and this valley has so many different things to offer. Besides the traditional basketball, football, I believe they have the horse riding, wrestling club. I think they have, I don't know if they still do roller hockey, but Tom, you and I play tennis almost every Saturday, and if it's 5 miles an hour wind, we can still have a great time out there playing. So, yes, it gets windy in the afternoons, but we are pretty blessed the weather that we have in this town.
All right, Chris Branson, we appreciate you. And you guys, last quick question. You only get one team. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year in the NFL?
Cowboys.
Cowboys and?
Cowboys.
Chargers. Okay, well, Chargers for Fritz. Well, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. Next Tuesday night, we'll be here again with a sports theme. Tom Heck, KZGN Sports.